So, closing in on the final couple of preseason games, what are your takeaways from the games that you've been a part of so far?
Good, yeah. I think they've been high compete, kind of trying to get the rust out, and yeah, I think we've played really well. We've been in situations where we've had to go back to real hockey and kind of try and close out games, and we've done that. Obviously, the last preseason game we didn't, but yeah, I think it's good to try to kind of get in game situations again and kind of go against guys who you aren't seeing in the locker room after the game. So it's good.
Now, in camp last year, you came in having not taken very many faceoffs, took some in camp, took some throughout the regular season. Now, even the opportunity to kind of center a line in the preseason. What have some of your takeaways been from centering a line, taking more faceoffs, and is that something that's been communicated to you, being more consistent going forward?
Yeah. Jimmy's talked to me a little bit about trying to get me out there at center sometimes, and obviously don't really know when those situations are going to be. But as a righty, you kind of want to be able to take face-offs, and if I'm going out there on the penalty kill and stuff like that, we don't have a lot of righties, so being able to win face-offs for that is a good thing. So yeah, little conversations about it, and yeah, it's different. I haven't really played much center in my whole life, so just kind of trying to get comfortable doing that. And yeah, I think I definitely have felt a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, it's been good.
If I'm not mistaken, you had a couple of practices last year, right? Kind of in the middle, or?
Yeah, I think kind of like whenever, like if Kopi took a day off or something like that, I would kind of messed
We didn't
around
look
with stuff.
into it that much. But
Yeah,
it was
no,
just, I remember you seeing out there a couple times.
Last year I played one game at center. That was
Yeah.
kind of the only real time I was there for like solidified role. So, but yeah.
I guess what are some of the challenges that you've faced and how you're trying to improve in the face-off circle?
Yeah, I mean, winning them, first off, it's hard. I mean, you go against guys who their whole job is to win face-offs, and you've never really taken them your whole life. It's hard, but yeah, I think I've gotten a lot better at it, and just trying to like compete a little bit more for them, not just trying to lose it on the first go. So yeah, as long as I can make it hard for them to win face-offs, it's better off for us.
The way that your standard line has continued to build chemistry, how has that worked so well for you guys since you were first together last season and then this year into camp?
Yeah, I think it's been amazing. Obviously, I mean, they're two incredible players who are really important pieces for our team, and yeah, I think my job is just to try and make it easier for them and make sure that they're kind of contributing and they're doing their thing, and as long as I can kind of help out with that and make it easier for those guys, and I'm doing my job. So yeah, I mean, they're staples for our team, and they're guys that we need to have scoring goals and doing offensive things every single night in order to win. So my job is just to make sure that they do that.
With the last two preseason games in Utah and back here, presumably being dress rehearsal games, do you treat those different? Do you try to mimic your in-season routine going into those, or is it different at all, preseason versus regular season?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's more, yeah, like you said, just trying to get into those routines and stuff like that. I think, whether it's like going on the bus to the games and like who you're sitting next to, or like when you're playing soccer before the games, who you're like standing next to trying to get out and stuff like that. It's just like little things like that kind of you realize, like, you miss a little bit during the season, and I think the preseason is good to kind of get back to that and feel like a team again, and it kind of makes you feel like what you're going towards and working towards is right there again. So yeah, it feels more comfortable when we're getting into it with everybody again, and yeah, so I think it's just like those little things that you realize that you miss, and yeah, it's good to get that going again.
And with the split squad preseason games, like on a night where you're not playing, are you watching, or are you checked out? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I've only not played one of the games so far, and yeah, I sat back and watched it a little bit. Yeah, it's tough because you want to be out there and you see the guys that you're used to playing with and seeing them out there. So yeah, it's fun to watch. I think it's really cool to see like the younger guys and those guys kind of get their opportunities to prove themselves. And yeah, I did watch the one game, so it was fun.
Jim, at this point, what is it that you're still trying to work on and work out, through practice as you lead in? Obviously, you want to get the veterans their games in the end, but what are you still working on?
Well, I think Dennis asked the question. We have added a couple new things. We want to make sure that the things we've added feel natural. So we're trying to do it as best we can as part of a 5-on-5, kind of like a game, rather than trying to walk through it on video or be really static. So we're trying to do more game-like situations, I guess, is what I would say, particularly the stuff that we've tried to add.
Talking to Laf just now, he was mentioning he's had a conversation with you about what happens at center position. I know there was a few practices last year in the game.
Yeah.
What attributes does he bring that says to you, okay, he can take on that task?
Well, center is a tougher job than wing, first of all, because you have to play down low in D zone. And that's really where it gets you. Everywhere else in the ice, outside of the face-off circle, is pretty similar. It's once you get down, and if you end up as the low guy, which more than often you do in D zone, it's being able to box out, it's reading, where's your guy. He's competitive. His defensive hockey sense and his understanding is at a very high level. So most wingers really have a difficult time making that transition. There's been some centermen that have been pushed over to the wing. But because he has some of those attributes, and he's strong on his skates, he's got good balance and he's strong on his skates, we feel like there's times, when necessary, that he might be able to make that transition. And where we really noticed it was his first year with the team, because we didn't have this in mind at all, that he ended up down low quite a bit, and he was able to handle the situations. And we go through it, and we're pretty nitpicky, and this guy got beat, and you really didn't say that much about Laf. So we felt like, if we're in a pinch, we need somebody to play center, maybe he can do it. So just trying to get him reps.
Jim, center depth doesn't appear to be an issue with this team.
No.
So why are you looking at him to the middle?
You just never know. You can never have too many centers. So I don't intend for him to play center this year, but you just never know. There's different scenarios. There's face-offs. He'll probably penalty kill this year. So can he take that penalty kill face-off? Most teams have a left-handed center. They choose that dot, more often than not. We don't have a lot of right-handed centermen, so it's getting those face-off reps. So there's just different reasons, that we're just trying to just give them the reps. It's an opportunity to do that.
You played Anaheim 3 times already. Even though the lineups are different, you have a good sense of the way that they want to play, but now you're going to play 2 against Utah. In the preseason, is there any sort of pre-scouting at all, or you're just more worried about what you're doing and you're not thinking about what they're doing?
Yeah, not too much. I mean, with Joel there, the Anaheim looks a little different. We've been able to recognize that for sure. The coach is back in Utah, so we expect them to play similar to what they did last year, which is different than what Anaheim is doing now. So it'll be a good test for us. It's good to see somebody new, and there'll be some different challenges. Their power play in particular with Keller and Schmaltz and Sergachev, Hayton. I don't think Hayton's. That's a really good power play. So that's going to challenge us some different ways. They do some different things that makes it really difficult. So that'll be the one that we really have to be on our toes for.
You mentioned the penalty killing for Laferriere, and we talked to Alex Turcotte earlier in the preseason. He said that might be something is that a point of emphasis for you guys to kind of have some more options there and get some more forwards in on the PK this year?
Yeah, we'd like that. We think there's time. Well, Armia is a penalty killer too, so some of those minutes will be distributed differently for sure, and so we got to get those guys reps now. Whether Turk's on there full time or last, those things remain to be seen. But yeah, we are transitioning. Probably Kopi and Juice will penalty kill less this year. Still be there, different times for different reasons, but probably a little bit less than they've been in the past.
Alex was talking just now about working back into his sort of game day routine, who he sits on the bus with, who he plays soccer with. As a coach, do you go straight back in, or do you use in the preseason to figure out, okay, this one I want to take this meeting, this one I want to take my nap, this one I want to have my meal, kind of thing?
Yeah, I don't know if we have it that specific, but we do have a routine, and like all of us, you get out of your routine, it takes a little bit, just to remember what your routine was again. So I think the exhibition season is important for the coaches as well, for the same thing. We need our reps. You got to get sharp, you got to be able to see what's happening again, and all those things. So I think the preseason, we haven't been as good as we need to be yet either. And I know the results don't matter, but so we're working on that in the same way.
I think there's just 2 guys that have played in all 4 of the games so far. I'm just curious, did that happen organically? Was that all part of the plan? Are things going according to plan?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so. Like, really a few, and well, you'll see as it finishes off this week, which is a tough week with 3 games and two long travel days. Yeah, some guys are going to get, most of our players, I shouldn't say most, probably half of the veterans will get 3 games only. They'll play the last 2 as a team, and the other guys might get the first 5 and then not play the last 2. They might get 5 and then play a 6th one. We didn't have somebody who plays 6. So, there's some specific players that we're, 1, giving opportunity to that didn't quite get as much opportunity, and 2, that we want to look at them just a little bit closer.
Next season's gonna be a shorter preseason. Could you ever envision not playing a player, a veteran, in the preseason, so that they have to get games?
Yeah, no, because you know what? If I bring it back to, and I've talked to a lot of people about this, the bubble season, after the bubble, we came back for that, was it 48 or 54? I forget the number, 54 maybe? We remember we had a short training camp, no preseason games, and we jumped right in. First game that the guys played was the first regular season game. I think we had about 4 or 5 days. And because, all of a sudden got going like that. And I'm talking with the players. They jumped right, I was amazed, jumped right in. Those games were good right out of the get-go. So I think, we're maybe on to something here by shortening it a little bit. 1, maybe 2, and get going.
Coach, with Brent Clark coming into this season now, from what you've seen, small sample size, are you comfortable to put him in any situation in a game?
Yeah, I'd say so. From what we've seen, he's raised his level for sure. Now, what happens is when we get all of our defensemen, and now there's competition for that. So we're comfortable with it, but is there somebody that can perform better in that particular moment? If it's 6-on-5 for the other team, are we comfortable with Clarkie? I would say yes from what we've seen. Does that mean he's going to be going out in that situation ahead of Edmondson, Dowdy, Anderson, Dumo? You can go down the list. I don't know if we're there yet.